Hey everybody, welcome to our first YouTube video here at the last save point. I'm Zach Hero on livestream.
I am Jesse. I go by CalcNinja on like everything.
Everything ever.
Everything ever, yeah. It's live stream, Twitch, Shoryuken, Facebook, all that good stuff.
So go to every website and make sure that he doesn't have it.
Twitter, yeah.
Go on there, get it.
Xbox Live, PSN. I'm all over. I'm all over the interwebs.
He's like 8. He's everywhere.
No, I'm not like it. So this is our first video. Are you excited?
A little worried about how bad this is gonna sound.
No,
but
it's gonna be great. I'll fix it in post. That's what they say.
No.
No?
That's gonna be your job though.
All right, that is my job, and I can do it. So the first thing we should talk about, I guess, is our gaming backgrounds, since this is a gaming show.
Let's talk about the website first.
We can do either one. The website's dead.
There is a website.
There is a website.
It has a Twitch and live stream on it.
Right. You can find it at www.thelastsavepoint.com. It exists.
Some people stream on there from time to time.
Right. Right now, I think The Binding of Isaac.
There's a lot of Binding of Isaac going on.
It's really all that's on there. But check it out. It's there. There's not a lot of content yet, but we are working on it.
Yeah, there's only 2 of us.
Yeah, there's 2 of us working on this thing, but we got it. We got it. It's a system. Like, we tried to get more people, but they failed. So here we are. Yeah.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. You're watching this right now. So I guess we should talk about our gaming backgrounds then, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So really, I mean, I've been playing games since I was a kid.
Don't go that far back.
I'm going that far back. But it's, I don't know, I'm mostly into RPGs. Be they like JRPGs or Western RPGs, or fighting games. It's really where my background is. Games like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, games like Street Fighter 4, Guilty Gear, BlazBlue, all that good stuff. But then as far as RPGs go, Final Fantasy, Phantasy Star, Shining Force, those are all really old though. Lost Odyssey is a newer one. Disgaea. Those kinds of games.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go that far back. Playing mostly RPGs, Disgaea, Final Fantasy, pretty much anything that's been coming out lately. I play all the AAA titles, play racers, and adventure games. God only knows how many hours I have in Gran Turismo 5.
Yeah. This guy is like always playing Gran Turismo 5. Oh, hey, online. He's playing Gran Turismo 5.
Well, you have it too.
I
don't need to be playing alone.
I do have it, but I detest racing games. But I did make that purchase. It's fun. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's a great game. I'm just absolutely horrible.
I actually gave it like an 8.
You gave it an 8.
Yeah.
Not even a perfect score. This guy's harder. You grade harsher than Famitsu.
I'm pretty much like Eurogamer.
Oh, so you're a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't we talk about some upcoming games? The first one on our list that we've got is Mass Effect 3.
It's going to be coming out in 3 weeks. 4 weeks?
3? March something?
It's the 14th.
Beginning of March? The 14th? Yeah, so about a month.
Okay.
Yeah. Because yesterday was the 14th.
This is everybody's most anticipated game of first quarter.
First quarter of 2012. There's a lot of good stuff coming out this year, but Mass Effect 3 looks really good. The demo's out on Xbox Live and PSN.
It seems to be getting good reviews. I have not taken the time to play it.
I haven't either. Other games are taking up my time right now.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
It's
weird.
weird.
There are games that you were playing.
There's games that I play. I have a huge backlog, but there are games that I play consistently, which are the reasons for my backlog. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, I mean, Mass Effect 3 looks amazing. Not only do the graphics look good, but the gameplay is changed a bit. There's a multiplayer mode.
Well, I played it on the PS3 with the new engine, and I don't know, it's sort of what I remember from the first one. But Mass Effect isn't my favorite game. I will not be picking it up on launch day.
Right, no, I probably won't pick it up on launch day either. I have a big enough backlog as it is. But I mean,
buy yourself into the poorhouse.
I really could. I mean, I can just continue down this road. But no, Mass Effect 3 looks really good. It definitely seems like something that I'll pick up eventually, maybe not right away.
Right when it hits that sweet spot of $40.
$40 a thing, yeah. And maybe I'll trade in something that I'm like, I don't need to play you anymore. Yeah, so the next game on our list is Asura's Wrath, which I get a lot of crap for liking.
The game is so absurd.
It's so good. It's like God Hand, but you're actually a god in this one.
No, it is like Dragon Ball Z with weapons.
It's pretty much exactly what it is.
It is the most over-the-top game, and after watching Jesse play it and then playing the demo myself,
right,
I was pretty excited for it too.
It looks so good, and I mean the controls are tight enough that you have fun with it. I mean it's got a combination of everything. Like there's shooter elements, like shmup elements. There's quick time action events, which people hate, I guess. Weird. But then there's also the actual beat 'em up style stuff, and then you fight a guy on the freaking moon.
Absurd.
You kick a guy's ass on the moon, and then he shoves a sword through you, and it goes all the way through the world. If you haven't played the demo, do it. I mean, it's totally worth it, and it's a lot.
It's a gig and a half, and it is totally worth your time.
It is totally worth the 15 minutes it's going to take you to beat this thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'll pick that up. That's coming out on the 21st.
Yep.
So Tuesday.
Pick it up on its way to $20, everybody.
Picking it up right away, day one. Next on our list is SSX. Personally, I don't know a lot about this title.
God. I'm so waiting for this game.
But he is really excited.
I've played I played the past ones. I didn't pick up the one for the Wii. Well, I can't remember what it's called. But I played the ones on the GameCube, and if it's anything like those, I'm going to destroy this game in hours. It's so ridiculous. I will be picking it up on launch day. Oh my god, I can't. The graphics don't look as good as I had hoped, and you brought it up yourself about the soundtrack.
Right, the dubstep soundtrack, like all dubstep.
And I hate dubstep, but I love SSX, so I don't care.
He's willing to make the sacrifice, I guess.
I could be wrong, but I'll ride this boat all the way down to the bottom of the ocean.
So day one purchase.
Yes, day one.
Do you know when it's coming out roughly?
28th.
28th.
It's 2 weeks from now.
Next up on our list is Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Zach's not too excited about it, but goddamn it, the game looks so good. It looks so much better than Street Fighter. I mean, I've been watching high level play of these streams and stuff. The people down in like LA have been playing. The fighting game scene in New York had a stream last week.
Everybody who already has access to the game that isn't you.
Yeah, everybody that's already trading for you, I guess. Bunch of dicks. But no, I mean, the art style, I'm iffy about. I don't know if I really like the art style, but I mean, really, are you playing a fighting game for art? No, you're not.
I've heard a lot of qualms about what the tournament viability is going to be of this game.
And I mean I think that's fair. But as more and more news comes out, as the game gets closer to release, which is in the beginning of March, I believe.
Same day as Mass Effect.
Well, crap. It's a good thing I'm not getting Mass Effect right away. But as the game gets closer to a release date, we're getting more and more info about it. So one of the things that came out, I think yesterday or the day before, actually, was that you can save your gem profiles to a USB stick. You just plug in the USB stick and it downloads your gems, and then those gems are automatically selected for you.
Wait, so is it tied to your account?
I don't know. I didn't.
That seems really sketchy.
Yeah, it seems sketchy
giving
to me.
Everybody all the gems.
But I don't think it works that way. I think it's just the gems that you put onto your USB stick. So you can put out your profile, right? Or your fighting profile. So you have specific gems picked out for specific teams, but it also saves your buttons. So you don't have to do a button check either.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's helpful.
Yeah. So I think if it's handled well, it'll become a tournament viable game.
Well, what do you think about all these characters that they've been adding to the game? You know, original Mega Man. You know, Cole.
God. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Didn't they say Pac-Man was also coming?
Yeah, Pac-Man's in there. He plays like Mokujin or Charade from Soul Calibur. He's the random all character.
But are all of these characters exclusives to the Vita, or are they coming to the consoles too?
I think everybody except for Mega Man and Pac-Man are exclusive to the Vita.
So
like Cole and the two cats.
Why I don't understand why you make Cole a Vita exclusive when there's not an Infamous game on the Vita.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't understand it either. I mean, I really don't know what's... Maybe because the Vita version isn't going to be tournament viable. Nobody's going to play a Vita game in a tournament.
Simple mode.
Right. Went to a Marvel tournament and everybody was playing it simple. And I was like, well, what is this?
3 scrubbed out. No.
Right. Oh, God. Oh, God. But no, I mean... I really don't know what their choices... I don't know what's going through their heads when they're thinking about this exclusivity stuff. Like old fat Mega Man? What the hell?
I can't believe that Capcom gave them their blessing for putting this in the game.
It's like, go for it.
It looks terrible.
I don't know. I won't be playing him. No, I'm probably going to be playing Lily and Jury.
You say that now.
I say that now, And then Mega Man's top tier and, fuck it. I'll tier pick, whatever. So the next game we've got on our list is Heart of the Swarm, which is a StarCraft expansion.
It's supposed to be coming out sometime this year, but Blizzard has announced that they're only going to be releasing 2 games this year.
We know what one of them is.
There's Diablo, WoW, and Heart of the Swarm, but just like Blizzard, they've had Diablo 3 in the beta process for months now. Right. So nobody's really sure which game is getting cut. I'm not really looking forward to Heart of the Swarm as much as Legacy of the Void, the Protoss expansion. But from what I've seen, they've added a lot of more interesting concepts to the next game.
Well, you play TOS, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a TOS player. I haven't been laddering as much since I dropped from gold to silver, but...
Oh no, you're not even diamond. What am I doing talking to you?
What do you mean, like? You in like plastic?
Yeah, wood? Actually... I'm in balsa wood. It's the beginners league.
Like I'm pretty good in the woods league. They don't know.
They have no idea about my SCV rush.
I heard it's pretty potent in that league.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What is this? SCVs are attacking. What do I do? Oh, I lost. Yeah, it works. You'd be surprised.
Battling your way to Grandmasters.
Yes. With the SCV rush.
One SCV at a time.
Next up, we have World of Warcraft, Mists of Pandaria.
Oh, Panda time!
Everybody's hating on the game. Like, people are like, oh, it's pandas.
Oh, this is the gimmick. Pandas.
This is a cartoon game. WoW has been so serious in the past. I'm like, you're freaking talking cows.
It really seems like they're scraping the bottom of the barrel waiting for the next game to come out.
You've got space aliens. You've got space goats. Like...
Fucking panda?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what you're...
It's a throwback. It's fan service is what it is. People have been asking for pandas as a playable race. Panda Ren as a playable race for so long.
All 3 of these guys have been asking for years.
Yes, 3 people. One is myself.
I've always wanted a panda. I want to play... What's his... Jack Black's character.
Jack Black's character,
from Kung Fu Panda. That's exactly what you want to be, right?
That is the biggest critique about the game. People were like, oh, it's because of Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda was huge. Put in pandas. Like, tons of money.
I don't understand why they go with pandas.
It looks so good, though. I mean, I think the way that they're doing these races now is, one race every expansion, and then you can choose what side of the war you want to join. Whether it be Alliance or Horde.
How many months have you logged into WoW?
A lot. I've had the game since launch.
Okay then.
I've logged many months in WoW, but I'm still. A lot of people are like, no, I'm not going to play WoW anymore because Mists is going to suck, and I'm like, no, it's going to be good. Like they're changing the way talents work. They're changing so much about the game, and they're solving so many balance issues while still adding a new class and a new race.
They take 2 years to do it.
They're talking about doing it every year and a half now. We're already in the last content patch of this expansion. So I think this is going to come out pretty soon. I think this is definitely going to be one of the 2 games that's released this year by Blizzard.
I hope it's Heart of the Swarm, but I think Heart of the Swarm is the least likely one to come out this year.
I think you're right. I don't know. Diablo 3 has been getting pushed back.
Well, it was supposed to come out Q4 of last year.
Yeah, and then they said it was going to be Q1, and they're like, no, it's going to be Q3.
Well, I think it's a lot like Dota 2 for Valve.
Right, yeah.
Everybody has a copy, but nobody's... Right. It's not for sale.
It's not for sale. Everybody's got it. No, it's not for sale. All right, so the next one we've got is Assassin's Creed 3, which just had their release date announced yesterday, October 30th.
I haven't even started the last one.
What, was that Brotherhood? Revelations?
I haven't started Revelations. I haven't started Revelations.
I don't even know which one is the last one. I played two was the last one I played. Then I played like the iPhone game. That was about as far as I got in the Assassin's Creed universe.
Well, let's get it out of the way. We're all making a big deal about this because of fear that it's going to turn into a Call of Duty sort of game, where it's going to be coming out every year, and it's going to be, just a little bit of an update. But part of Assassin's Creed's greatness is the story,
right?
And how do you develop a story in 1 year?
Yeah, you really can't. I mean, there is so much going on in these games that I really think it takes longer than a year. You can't follow this cookie cutter pattern
because each game has been getting worse and worse reviews too.
Right? Yeah, I mean the gameplay elements are starting to become rehashed, so there's nothing new happening. The storyline is getting so vague and just out there that people are having a hard time grasping what's going on. Like,
lol, more time travel.
I don't. Ezio traveled back in time to talk to Dustin. What is this? And then Ezio's in Soul Calibur 5. What is going on?
And then Doc Brown showed up.
And then
and
Great
Scott.
Desmond. Great Scott. We've got to go back to the future.
I think this is way too early. People were having the same complaint about Revelations when it was coming out.
Right. That these games are coming out way too close to each other.
It's going to get to the point where it's like Call of Duty, where they have multiple development studios developing these games. There's no way that... Who is it? It's Ubisoft?
Ubisoft, I think.
Ubisoft... I guess they're kind of major, but...
But they can't support it. I mean, look at Guitar Hero.
Oh,
look at Rock Band. I mean...
That's a gimmick, though.
I know, but it did the same exact thing. They released so many games so quickly, the market just died.
Well, they oversaturated.
You're right, exactly. And that's happening with Call of Duty right now. But people are still, I don't know why, buying up Call of Duty and Battlefield. I mean, they're fun games. Don't get me wrong. I love Battlefield 3. But, yeah, I bought it. But it was on Steam sale. I have an excuse. I got it for like $20.
Have you started it?
Yeah, I have, actually. Yeah. I have, yeah.
About an hour?
I started that one, yeah. I'm about an hour, 2 hours in. Multiplayer is where it's at. Metro, best level. Or best map, I guess. But no, I mean, it's the same thing that we see going on with those kinds of games. The market is becoming oversaturated with this product. I mean, you see Final Fantasy, and okay, yeah, there's been, 15, 16 games now?
In the main line.
Right, in the main line. But, I mean, even counting 10-2, even counting 13-2, even counting...
Dirge of Cerberus. Technically, there's Revenant Wings. There's a bunch of different ones.
Right, yeah.
We're talking easily over 30 games.
But they're still spaced out far enough.
Well, they don't develop them. They don't develop them concurrently like that.
Right, and I mean they don't. Maybe they do. Maybe they do it. They do it back to back to back, and they're just putting in so much time into these games, and then people aren't buying them because you run down a hallway for 60 hours.
They're the last bastion of this game type, though.
Oh, I think I
mean, the other RPG makers are shifting what they're doing.
Right. Well, what I think I'm seeing is that a lot of people are going towards this Western RPG type of feel.
You mean very easy? Very
exploitable, is what I mean.
Or adopting another genre into it.
I think that's what they're doing.
Borderlands, Mass Effect 3.
Because a lot of developers now are saying, Western RPG developers have it right. This is the way we need to be making games.
But they know how to make games for that market. These games still sell well in other markets.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
They still sell well in Europe and in Japan, but for some reason we don't like them here.
Right, and I don't understand that either.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with story. People are more concerned about the story here.
Right.
But for me, it's about building the character and, watching that character evolve into something else from the beginning of the game. Much less about the story.
Right.
It's about my time put in.
Right. So you want to take somebody who is trash at the beginning and then essentially have them become a god.
And knowing that, 40, 50 hours earlier, this was some scrub who was, killing boars or whatever.
And then all of a sudden you're killing a god that's holding up a world.
Yeah.
Right.
Just typical day.
Right. Typical day of my life.
Typical Final Fantasy.
So speaking of, Final Fantasy, we're going to talk about the shift towards HD remakes.
Especially with, Final Fantasy X being remake, but even Square has said that it's going to be a retooling, not necessarily just an up-res in graphics.
Right. But then we have games like Devil May Cry, which is getting a remake.
Coming out this April.
April. Eco and Shadow of the Colossus just got a remake.
Yeah, I picked that up a few months ago.
God of War.
God of War was more than a year ago.
Okay, yeah. So God of War had a remake, but we're seeing more of these HD remakes, and I think this is the same ideas behind it as these 3D movies.
You think it's a gimmick,
right? You think it's a gimmick, but I mean, Star Wars Episode 1 was just re-released in 3D.
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily a gimmick as much as it's about exposing an audience to these stories. Like Final Fantasy X is being remade. The game came out like 10 years ago.
Right, but I mean, do you think it's that, or do you think they're riding on the nostalgia wave? Do you think?
I think it's both. I'm gonna buy it. Like,
well, yeah, I'm gonna buy it too. Like, hands down.
I think the thing that draws it into question is the games that they're choosing to do.
Right.
They're not choosing to do the games that people are clamoring for, that they want.
Right. Final Fantasy VII being like the biggest example of this. Fans have been clamoring for years about this.
They should have never done that tech demo.
And no, they really should not have done that tech demo. That was a horrible, horrible idea. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was genius. Maybe
Maybe when they finally get it out, it'll be the best-selling game ever.
If we support Square Enix, they're going to make a Final Fantasy VII HD remake. If we just give them all of our money, it's going to look just like that tech demo did.
Well, in the past, Square's even said that they want to remake. They thought about remaking the Kingdom Hearts franchise because the first games came out such a long time ago, and there's been these expansions on them. You know, Birth by Sleep, 350. It's 358-2.
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever the DS one was. It's getting so convoluted, and you're expanding upon this universe that the audience, that your younger generation that have the DS, weren't exposed to the Kingdom Hearts story, and Sora. Well,
I mean, if it bouncing off of that, a friend of mine the other day, he's got a kid. He's in his 30s. His kid is 8, and he just bought his kid a DS, and then he got him Ocarina of Time.
Oh my gosh!
Right, and the kid's like, "Oh my god, this game is amazing! I bet you've never played it before." And his dad's
"You've never played this game that came out 15 years ago,
right?" And my buddy was like, "Excuse me," and
you're like, "Step into my office."
And the kid's like, "Yeah, this game just came out. It's great. It's the greatest thing." And my buddy was like, no, come here. I'm going to show you this. And, he takes me over and pops out the N64, puts in Ocarina of Time. Is like, you sit and watch. You watch how a master does this. But
you see how I rolled off of that jump?
You see
that? No damage.
I roll everywhere. Travel faster. But I don't know. I think you hit on an important note is that, a lot of people haven't experienced these storylines, and they won't because they have this idea in the back of their head that shitty graphics means bad game.
And I'm one of those people.
He absolutely is.
I can't play PS1 era games anymore.
He's never going to go back and play Chrono Trigger. Never.
But if you release an HD version that looks, acceptable, I'll play it. It's not a big deal to me. But I think you touched on an important point, too, is exposing this next generation of gamers. From your story, us N64 generation people, Super Nintendo, we're getting older. We're having kids.
Right.
So we want to pass the tradition on to our kids. But the games that echo in our mind, these Ocarina of Time, Chrono Trigger, all of these games hold a special place in our hearts. And we want that same thing to be established in our children, too.
I think you're right. I think you're totally right about that. It's a way of passing down...
passing the torch.
Yeah, passing the torch. Passing down the family heirloom. Mine just happens to be video games. So what?
Just fostering the nerddom.
Right. You know what? You are going to be a greater gamer than I was. And we're going to start at a young age. So the last section, I guess, of our show is going to be Qualms of the Modern Gamer.
It's where we analyze the problem. This is probably not going to be a segment that occurs too often.
Right.
Because we couldn't really think of that many bad things, but a few of us we all deal with this problem.
Right. Dealing with your backlog of video games.
Games are coming out so often now. It's one thing for, how all these game releases are destroying your bank account and
Right.
your wallet.
Right.
I mean, we're all getting deals. You know, every game seems to have a deal worth a $10 gift certificate or $20 gift certificate on day one.
Well, and then DLC on top of that too.
But that's so
Like,
much money.
That is so much money that you're just funneling into this industry.
Especially after fourth quarter of last year.
Oh god, every Christmas, dude.
It was even worse last year than it had been.
Right.
They released so many games in, I want to say, the span of a month and a half, that there was no way you could get all of them.
Right,
Like,
that's
you know,
right. That's right. I remember thinking, like, when I picked up 13.2, I was like, Jesus. Like, there's like 6 games I need to pick up right now.
You're like, there was Arkham City, there was Battlefield 3, there was Modern Warfare 3, Uncharted 3.
Right. Lots of 3s.
Just get 4.
Skip 4. Okay, alright, so you stepped up there.
Dark Souls. The remakes.
Right.
You're never getting a break now.
There were so many games coming out, and the problem isn't that there are so many games coming out. I mean, you can look at the Wii as a really good example of a lot of games coming out that are shovelware. I mean, go look at the release list right now, and there's crap coming out.
Yeah, you notice how we did not discuss the Wii list.
But, no, yeah, absolutely not. There's nothing good. Except for Xenoblade Chronicles, but that's in April. We'll talk about that in, like, May. But we're just getting so many AAA titles and so many good games. I mean, just the list that we mentioned earlier, you know, those are all coming out, what, quarter one?
Yeah. All these games are coming out in
quarter one.
Really soon.
It's like 8 games. And there's way more. I Am Alive is coming out.
What else? Syndicate.
Syndicate's coming out. That game looks good. But I mean, we have all these good games that are coming out, and it's just like, how do you keep up?
How do you don't have enough time.
Right.
This age where, you know, you have school, you have work, you have kids, you don't have that much free time.
Where do you get the time to play all these games? And especially if you're an RPG player. If you're an RPG player right now is a good time for you. I mean, you're getting all these awesome RPGs coming out, but they're all like 60 hour plus, 70 hour plus games.
So you can only pick up, like, you'll be lucky if you get 60 hours in 3 months.
Right.
To devote to a game.
Especially if you're a busy person.
It makes it harder and harder to maintain your gamership as you get older.
It's true. And I mean, so how do you deal with that? Personally, I don't. I have this huge backlog. Let me list off some of the games. Disgaea 3, Disgaea 4, Resonance of Fate, Final Fantasy 13-2. I can't even think of any of the other ones. The Darkness 2, but I haven't picked that up yet. I'm going to add it to the list. Bastion. I picked up Bastion. I never played that. Apparently that's a great game.
It's all these damn Steam sales.
It's all these damn Steam sales that are like, shut up and take my money. It's yours.
Right here. Here.
You can have it. I don't need a paycheck this month.
I don't need food.
But then there's another buddy that we have who, I mean, he's worse than I am. I have a ton of backlog games.
But he has backlog games from like 2008.
Yeah, he has games that he hasn't played since the last generation of consoles.
Well, like the big one is that he has not finished Fallout 3. And he keeps talking about how someday he's going to get back to it.
I'll get to it.
But he keeps playing all the new games that come out. He's never going to have time.
No, yeah, I mean...
He also works, goes to school, and has a girlfriend. So.
Right. So, he's pretty busy, but he still finds times for these other games. And for other hobbies and stuff. I don't know, maybe he's just getting older and deciding that he doesn't like games as much.
I think it's the Old Republic.
I think that's what it is. He's playing a lot of the Old Republic. It's the same problem I have with WoW and Marvel and all these other fighting games that have no like linear progression.
You can do what I do. You just turtle in on yourself and no social interaction for like a week, and you just knock that game out of there.
You stay inside for a week. It's like, this is it. This is all I'm doing.
You wake up, you turn it on. Maybe you hop in the shower. I don't know where your priorities are.
I got Red Bull and Cheetos. Let's do this thing.
I'm getting this done today.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for watching. This is the last save point. I'm CalcNinja.
And I'm Piro.